perhaps, I don't know, what do you think? We don't use diathermy to cut skin, because I don't know, we don't do it. But that doesn't mean the data's not out there to suggest there's no difference. And James has gone through the difference, and maybe we should be using diathermy to cut the skin. Tummy tucks, who uses it for a tummy tuck to cut the skin? No one? Breast reductions? Okay, so from a plastic surgical point of view, we always use the scalpel. But I think in this model, I'm not going.
Well, I think the Colorado needle to go into the scalp.
Yeah.
But the Colorado needle is not sharp. I've
Yeah.
stabbed myself.
And actually use that at the same time.
Yes. So are you talking about a blunt tip?
Yeah, one of those pencils, spatula, I think they call them.
Yeah. So I think it could work. Well, yeah.
The ACE is designed for that. The ACE system claims to be designed to go through the skin.
Yeah, so I don't think there's any reason why you can't use it for skin. It's used. I mean, you're telling me that how many surgeons do it routinely?
My estimation is about 80%. Actually, that's one of the reasons why you've probably got a survey there that you picked up on the way in. I really want that. We really value that survey data to show exactly who's using what. Yeah.
So general surgeons are doing it routinely anyway, but I think from a laparotomy point of view, it would be useful if you take the scalpel off. Dragons, what do you think? Tom, what do you think?
I'm a general surgeon. I almost always use yellow diathermy to do the skin, but then I use a scalpel to unpick barrel loops sometimes. So in Crohn's. So, but it's good. I think it's deliverable. It ticks all the training boxes. It ticks the logistical training box, as you say. It's the beginning of the operation. It's something that a lot of surgeons won't care too much about, so it ticks that box. There are quite a few other surgeons who won't have equipoise, and I think you will lose some that, like you guys, are adamant that scalpel is the right thing. I've got a few colleagues who get upset if you don't use diathermy, so there's a bit of an issue with that in terms of the surgical equipoise. My concern, I've had the benefit of hearing this presentation before in Bristol, is that whether it would change practice. A score on a patient-reported wound assessment scale, self-reported, which is validated, of 3. What does that really mean? You know, when you write up the paper and you read it in the journal, do you think it's enough to change practice?
I don't think that it will show a difference, so there may be no difference in scale.
You said non-inferiority, so you
Yeah.
powered it on a difference of 3 though, haven't you? So you have to power it on something.
Yeah. What do you think?
I agree with what Tom said. I think it may not change practice for a different reason. I would just be really nervous, and a surgeon is taking the scalpel from the surgeon. That would be the big thing for me. So even though you proved all of that, showed it, I think you'd find it very difficult. It's like having a racing driver and taking the steering wheel off them. Would you be able to convince people not to use scalpels as surgeons?
Well, I think if you showed that you had a safer alternative that was at least as equivalent to a scalpel, I think you could have a quality improvement drive within the NHS to say it is unacceptable to use a dangerous tool when there is an alternative that's safer. And surgical safety is a real hot topic at the moment, and there is a lot of money that's going into the NHS to improve surgical safety. So I think it would be difficult, and it wouldn't just be one trial. It would be a lot of other things on the back of evidence, but there is no evidence at the moment.
Just as a straw poll, who would be happy to put their scalpels down here if that trial showed that it worked?
Certain operations.
Yeah, in principle, at least somewhere.
Yeah, not the face, maybe not the hand. But
It's a bit sketchy though, isn't it?
We use scalpels for a lot more than just
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think.
So it has to be specific to what you know.
Yeah, that's why I'm going for adult laparotomies as a population, because I can understand where, on the face you may really have some reservations.
I just think that it may be a bit ambitious to say discard the scalpel altogether, but perhaps, like you say, for the laparotomy context, which we probably don't see a lot of those in plastic surgery, it may be an option. But in terms of safety, there's a lot of evidence that a lot of the airline industry, a lot of the crashes happen because of people errors. That doesn't mean you take the pilots out, because there's a psychological, as Prof. Beard says, you don't want to know the plane's landing itself, you want to know someone's behind the equipment, and you want your surgeon to have a scalpel around on the
I disagree with that. I don't think you need to have, if the scalpel doesn't show any benefit to diaphragm, why do you need the scalpel on the table for these operations? Just to keep me happy doesn't mean she'll have a gun. I'll be happy, I'll set the gun on the right foot. Doesn't mean I should have one. I think we should get away from that, or should I?
No, I think you're right, but I'm just saying that it's a big steep hill to go up. That's all, and I'm being realistic about it. So you can do these things and people just don't like it.
What's the burden compared to needle stick injuries? What's the burden?
Oh, there's far more needle stick injuries, but if you can come up with an alternative to a hypodermic needle, that would be great.
No, they've got a protector that you stick on at the end of using it. That doesn't apply to scalpels.
They're trying to bring in scalpel blades, but again, I don't think that's been adopted.
Or retractable ones or something. Yeah.
From a plastics point of view, we would be involved in helping assess the scar outcomes rather than getting involved in this. We would be independent scar assessors. So we're going to be really quick now. Let's have
Nice talk. I think it might be easy. You wouldn't have to take away the scalpel from the surgeon if you define what operations it's being used for. For example, as Graham said, I've used ACE before, but it's quite expensive.
Mm.
So if you're using it for a set operations and you've got big scars, then maybe more people will like to just use it rather than what's using the blade for lots of smaller operations.
I'm going to take any kind of patient so that post-operative brain infection and dehiscence from Western historic.
Well, yeah, that would be measured in the secondary outcomes because that could confirm results. So
Do you want to point out that general surgeons are not particularly interested in this thing about the scar?
Yeah.
So given the fact that the other 5 measures didn't convince them to move forward, and we really think we should know that the prognosis is not on that basis.
I think one of the things is that surgeons always have a definitive idea of where they think the problem is. So if you ask them, they'll say, well, I think the cosmetic outcome is probably better than scalpel, that's why I use it. But actually, if you really push them on it, they would have that middle ground where they say, well, actually, I really don't know what the evidence is, so I'd be happy to recruit to this trial.